Hi children, this is your social mom. Today we are going to see the part social and political life. In that, chapter 2, Understanding Secularism. So before going to see this chapter, listen careful children. It is difficult to understand from your book. Please refer this slide and learn carefully because this is an important content you will learn up to the 10th standard. Okay, so I had given clearly. See the next slide, children. Contents. So these are all the contents we are going to see in this chapter. Introduction. What is secularism? Why it is important to separate religion from the state. What is Indian secularism? Conclusion. Check your knowledge and listening skill. See the next slide, children. Introduction. So before going to see what is mean by secularism, you want to know these things. See, in our world, we can have many countries. These countries are following secular, non-secular and atheist. What is mean by secular? Secular countries supports both religion and non-religion people. So they will accept who's believing their religion and also who's not believing the religion. So that people they can live in that country. So they are supporting, for example, India and USA. Non-secular. Non-secular, they are involving religious and spiritual matters. That means they are believing most probably the religious. So that countries and are religious based countries. For example, Nepal, Pakistan, etc. In Pakistan and all we can see most people of Muslims. Atheist. Atheist means atheist is an absence of belief in the existence of deities. They are not believing the God. They are not believing the God. So what are the countries? China, Japan and France. So understand it clearly. See the next slide, children. So in the year of 1976, this secularism added in our constitution. You know what is mean by constitution? Yes, the set of laws described or derived for our people welfare in our India. So there in that book we can find out article 25 to 28 regarding this secularism. At the amendment 42nd they have added. Amendment means what is it? சட்டத்திருத்தம் 42வது சட்டத்திருத்தம். They have added this secularism. So our India has a mixture of multi-religions of people with diversity. Yes, children. So different states can have n number of religious practices and lot of things varied. And also, India is the birthplace of these communities: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism. These things born in our country only. See the next slide, children. In our country, people of diverse religions and beliefs have been living peacefully for a long time. Yes, even though we are from different diversities, we are following different religious practices, but still we are living peacefully for a long time in our country. So if we want to live peaceful, what we need to follow? Tolerance and acceptance for all religions. Tolerance means சகிப்புத்தன்மை. Yes, you want to tolerate or accept other religion or religious practices. See the next slide, children. What is secularism? Now we just understand what is secularism. The word secularism derived from the Latin word seculum. Seculum means age, the spirit of age, particular period. The concept of secularism is aimed at creating a society in which people of religious belief or people who do not belong to any religion can live together in harmony and peace. Yes, already I told no? Yes. So the people who are believing the religious and practices, who are not believing religious and practices. மத நம்பிக்கை உள்ளவர்கள், மதத்தின் மீது நம்பிக்கை இல்லாதவர்கள். So both they can live together. And also it is important to separate religion from the state. This is important, children. Listen carefully. It is important to separate religion from the state. Which is separate the secularism. So secularism separate religion. Religion means community, madam, from the state. State means what is it? Here government. Okay, so government will not, what is it, consider the religion based administration. So administration is different and religion is different. We'll see in detail in upcoming slides. See why it is important to separate religion from the state. Why it is important to separate religion from the state. So here religion means what is it? That community. And state means government. That the reason we are going to see. The most important aspect of secularism is its separation of religion from the state power. For example, children, you just imagine some majority people are in one particular religious group. So we can call it as majority. So by using their religious group, they should not misuse their power, and also they will use that power to dominate minority people. Minority means the next level of the people who is low in their religious group. For that, to avoid that, we need this secularism. That's why that government, they are telling that administration is different, religion is different. They will not enter into the religion, religion will not enter into the administration. So no interference of the state in the matters of religion and vice versa. That means government, that means what to say, the state and the religion are separate. See the next slide, children. Why? Because we have different religious groups. The majority of the religion could access the state power. At the time, they will discriminate the minority. So, need to protect the freedom of the individual. The second point, to protect the freedom of the individuals. See the next slide, children. What is Indian secularism? Secularism differs based on the country's rule. What is Indian secularism? According to our Indian constitution, we have some objectives for our Indian secularism. What are they? One religious community does not dominate another. Some members do not dominate other members of the same religious community. The state does not enforce any particular religion nor take away the religious freedom of the individuals. See that first one, children? They should not dominate one another. Within the religious community also, they should not dominate one another. And also, the government does not force the people to follow the particular religion or to the religious practices. See the next slide, children. What is Indian secularism? The same topic continue. The Indian state works in various ways to prevent the above domination. So already we had seen us say they should not dominate other people and also within their community, and also they should not force the people to follow their religious practices. So how to avoid this? So what the government is doing for this? See the first one, it uses a strategy of distancing itself from religion. It will not support any religious group or any one group for the administration. Yes, Kanna, the government will not support any other religious, group or the particular group to the administration. For example, in government offices or the places, they should not display or promote anything related to the religion. The second one, in schools, they should not celebrate any religious festivals. This is the rule. And also, religious prayer. They should not follow any other particular prayer in the morning or the evening. That is why all the government schools have got public holidays. So whatever the festivals days and all, they are giving leave. So we can celebrate in our houses. In our house. See the next one. Respect the sentiments of all religion and not interfere with its religious practices. So the government, they must respect the sentiments. For example, if I belongs to Christian, you belongs to the Hinduism, whatever the practices practiced in our community, we can follow. So this also respect by the government. For example, while riding two-wheeler, we must wear helmet. But for the Sikhs, they are allowed to wear turban instead of it. Turban means Talepahi said. Then untouchability considered as a crime. Yes, you should not discriminate the people. For example, in our area, they are discriminating lower caste. And also, the government gave rights to the religious communities to set up their own college or schools. Yes, Hinduism, if the Hinduism needed, they can construct or they can start any other school or colleges. So the government gave permission. So we can have different types of Hinduism schools, Christianity schools, Muslim schools. Is it? And also Jain institutions, Buddhism, a lot of things we can have in our country. See the next slide. In what way is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? Okay, lot of democratic countries are there. Democratic country means what to say? The people can select their leader. That is democratic country. In American secularism, so we are going to see one example for USA. In that, in American secularism, strict separation between religion and the state. Strict separation. You should not follow, and also the government will not involve in any other religious practices to your individuals or the group. But in our Indian secularism, the state can involve in religious affairs sometimes. Do you know why? Because that means the religious affairs must meet the rule of our constitution. So whatever that religious, they are practicing lot of different things. It should not hurt others. That means the rule specified in that constitution we should not cross. Otherwise, the state involves in this matter. State means what is it here? The government. For example, in our Hinduism, the people follows untouchability. That means they are discriminating the lower people. They are not accepting the Dalit to enter into their houses, temples, to use public places. For the time and all, that government will involve in these problems or the matters, and they will, what is it, take severe action. So conclusion. At last, what we are going to understand from this. So the Indian state is secular and works in various ways to prevent religious domination. So secular countries accept religious and also non-religious people to live together and peaceful. At the same time, they want to prevent religious domination also. So these steps were taken by the government. Our fundamental rights are based on these principles. Yes, no one should not dominate one another. For that reason, we can have our fundamental rights, what we have studied in our chapter 1. We can use that fundamental rights if someone is violating in any other place. You can use this fundamental rights to appeal the court. So improve your knowledge, children. Recall the concept of diversity. Still, we are following untouchability in our area. Why? Please find out. Find out the Article 15 in our Constitution. What it says. Please remember your 7th standard, what you have studied at the chapter 1, Article 15. What is the value of tolerance? Tolerance means sahiputanmai. Ask to your parents how it is important to our life too. Check your listening skill from this chapter. What is secularism? Say one example country for non-secular state. India is a secular state. Say true or false. Revise the objectives of our Indian secularism. Thank you, children.